Libra, let me ask you something. Have you been smiling on the outside while quietly wondering if your finances would ever feel safe again? Because lately, it's not the lack of money that's been exhausting you. It's the pressure, the waiting, the feeling that you've been holding everything together for far too long. And if you clicked on this at the exact moment you were questioning your stability, your future, or whether balance would ever return, this is not random. Something is shifting for you, Libra, not loudly, not overnight, but deeply and permanently. Before we go any further, take a breath. Drop a in the comments if this already feels personal. And if you're ready to trust yourself again, stay with me. Because this is where your money story begins to change. Libra, I want you to listen closely to this part, not as background noise, not while scrolling, but as if I'm sitting right across from you right now. Because there's something important you've been missing about your life lately. You've been asking yourself quiet questions, not out loud, mostly at night. Questions like, am I really safe? Did I build enough? Or am I one unexpected moment away from everything falling apart? And I need you to hear this clearly. What you're standing on right now is far more solid than it feels. You've already finished a cycle, even if no one clapped for it, even if it didn't come with fireworks or instant relief. Something foundational in your life has been completed. Your home energy, your family structure, the way you now handle responsibility, money, and pressure. You are not scrambling anymore, you are stabilizing. But here's the part most Libras struggle to recognize. Stability doesn't always feel calm at first. Sometimes it feels unfamiliar, quiet, almost empty. Because you've spent so long living in reaction mode, fixing, balancing, holding everything together for everyone else. When that pressure finally loosens, your nervous system doesn't know what to do with the silence. So, your mind fills the space with doubt. You start questioning what you've already secured. You replay old fears, old scarcity stories, old moments where things didn't work out the way you hoped. But those stories belong to an earlier version of you, a version that had to survive without support, without certainty, without fairness. This version of you is different. You didn't start from zero this time. You built from experience, from wisdom, from knowing what you will never tolerate again. And even if your bank account, your career, or your long-term plans still feel like they're in motion, the core is steady. That matters more than you realize, because when the foundation is strong, everything else can be adjusted without collapse. I want you to picture this. You're standing inside a house at night. The lights are low, it's quiet. You can't see every room clearly, yet, but the walls are firm, the floor doesn't shift under your feet, and the door behind you is closed for good. That's where you are right now. This isn't the moment where things explode forward. This is the moment where they stop falling apart. And that pause you've been feeling, that strange in-between space, that's not stagnation, that's recalibration. Take a breath here, let your shoulders drop, because what's coming next doesn't arrive through force or panic. It arrives once your mind releases the need to stay on high alert. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about why your thoughts have been louder than your reality lately, and how that inner pressure has been the last thing standing between you and the flow that's already trying to reach you. Libra, stay with me here, because this part gets quiet and honest. What you have been fighting lately is not your bank account. It is not your job. It is not the numbers. It is the noise in your head that refuses to let you rest. You wake up and your body is tired, even on days when nothing dramatic happens. Your mind starts running before your feet hit the floor. What if something goes wrong? What if I miscalculated? What if I am about to lose balance again? And I want to say this gently. That voice did not come from the present moment. It came from a past version of you that had to stay alert to survive, a version that learned to scan every room, every conversation, every expense. You carried responsibility long before you were supposed to. You learned to keep things fair even when life was not fair to you. And now, even though the danger has passed, your nervous system still thinks it is on duty. So the thoughts repeat, not because they are true, but because they are familiar. There is a difference. You tell yourself you are stuck, yet you are no longer in the same place. You fear scarcity, even as the ground beneath you has stopped shifting. You question your progress, forgetting how far you had to climb just to stand where you are now. This is not intuition speaking. This is old tension echoing in a quieter room. I want you to imagine something. You are sitting in a train station after a long journey. The train you survived on is gone. The noise has faded, but your body is still braced, waiting for impact that never comes. That is what your mind is doing. It is scanning for danger in a season that is asking you to exhale. And here is the truth most people never tell Libra. Balance does not mean holding everything perfectly still. Balance means knowing when to stop holding it all. You have been gripping your future too tightly out of habit, not necessity. You learned to believe that if you loosen control, everything would fall apart. But that belief belonged to a chapter where support was missing, where effort went unnoticed, where fairness had to be enforced instead of received. This chapter is different. Your fears are louder, right? Now, because they are losing authority, they know their job is almost finished. That is why they argue harder, why they replay worst-case scenarios, why they question decisions you have already outgrown. Do not mistake volume for truth. Pause with me for a moment. Let the silence stretch. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not about to lose what you built. You are standing at the edge between who you had to be and who you are becoming. And soon, very soon, we are going to talk about what happens when that old pressure finally releases. When the weight lifts without drama. When something that once held power over you quietly loses its grip. Because once the mind stops fighting ghosts, something else begins to move. Libra. There's a reason things have started to feel different lately. Not louder, not dramatic, just lighter, in a way you can't quite explain. That's because something old is loosening its grip on you. You may not have announced it. You may not have even said it out loud to yourself yet, but a quiet decision has already been made deep inside you. You are done carrying what was never meant to stay this long. For a long time, you told yourself you could manage it. You adapted. You adjusted. You kept the balance, even when it cost you sleep, peace, or joy. Maybe it was a financial worry that followed you everywhere, a pressure that made you second-guess every choice, or a dependency that once felt necessary but now feels heavy. Maybe it was a relationship or an agreement that slowly shrank you, one that asked you to stay small so everything else could remain calm. You didn't leave in anger. You didn't break anything on the way out. You simply stopped feeding it your energy. And that is the most powerful kind of release. Because Libra, real freedom does not arrive with chaos. It arrives with clarity. You are stepping away from the role of the one who endures, the one who absorbs, the one who keeps things peaceful at their own expense. You are realizing something important now. Balance is not achieved through sacrifice alone. It is achieved through alignment. There is a difference. What's happening around you may look subtle. Fewer arguments, less urgency. Moments of stillness where anxiety used to live. But inside, a door has closed. You are no longer negotiating with what drains you. You are no longer explaining yourself to systems that never listened. You are no longer trying to earn rest. This release may feel unfamiliar at first, because you learned to measure your worth by how much you could hold together. So when the weight lifts, there can be a strange emptiness, a pause, a quiet where your body waits for the next responsibility. Nothing comes, and that silence is not loss. It is space. Space for your breath to deepen, for your shoulders to drop, for your thoughts to slow down. You may notice your choices becoming simpler, your yes more intentional, your no more peaceful. That's how you know the chains are dissolving. This is not you giving up. This is you stepping out of survival mode. You are allowed to choose ease now. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt. And here is something I want you to hear clearly. Walking away does not mean you failed. It means you grew strong enough to stop repeating the same lesson. Take a moment here. Let that sink in. Because as this old hold fades, something else is quietly rearranging itself around you. The scales are shifting. Not to punish anyone, not to create conflict, but to restore what was out of balance. And as you continue forward, you're going to notice that life begins responding differently to you. Opportunities feel more natural. Support shows up without struggle. Because when you stop holding what was never yours to carry, your hands become free. And in that openness, something long overdue finally finds its way back to you. Libra, there is a calm settling around you now. Not the kind that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that comes from things finally being put back where they belong. You've always understood justice in a deeper way than most people, not as punishment, not as winning or losing, but as balance being restored after a long imbalance. And lately, something subtle has been happening in your life. Moments that once felt unfair are starting to make sense. Situations that drained you are no longer asking for your energy. People who benefited from your silence are slowly losing their influence. This is not revenge unfolding. This is correction. You don't need to confront anyone. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to fight for recognition. Because life is already adjusting the scales on your behalf. Think back for a moment. How much you gave. How often you chose peace over being seen. How many times you carried more than your share just to keep everything from tipping over. You were generous with your time, your patience, your emotional labor, even your resources. And for a while, it felt like nothing came back. But Libra, nothing you offered with sincerity was ever lost. It was only delayed. What's happening now is quiet, but exact. Money finds its way back through the right doors. Opportunities show up without you chasing them. Your name is spoken with respect in rooms you are not even in. This is justice in motion, not dramatic, not loud, but precise. You may notice that things start working out without resistance, that decisions feel easier, that you are no longer over-explaining your value. That's because you're standing in the correct position now, aligned, centered, uncompromised. Justice does not ask you to push, it asks you to remain steady. And that is something you are learning to do beautifully. There is a difference between fighting for balance and allowing balance to return. You've stepped out of the struggle, and in doing so, you've allowed life to meet you halfway. You might feel moments of disbelief, as if you're waiting for the catch, waiting for something to be taken away again. But listen to me carefully. This time is different, because you are different. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You are no longer accepting less just to keep the peace. You are no longer dimming your light to make others comfortable. And because of that, what is meant for you can finally recognize you. Let yourself receive this without guilt, without explaining it, without shrinking it. You earn this balance by choosing integrity over fear. Pause here for a second. Let your breath settle into your chest. Because as fairness returns to your life, something else begins to shift alongside it. A sense of ease around money, a feeling that things no longer require constant effort, a quiet knowing that support is present. And as you stay grounded in this new alignment, you'll start to notice another change. The pressure lifts, the flow returns, and the abundance you once worried about begins to move toward you without force, just naturally. Libra, let's stay right here together for a moment, because this is where something important begins to turn. You might not have noticed it yet, not fully, but the way you think about money is already changing. Not from panic anymore, not from fear, but from a quiet sense of grounding that's starting to take root inside you. There was a time when every financial decision felt heavy. Every bill carried emotion. Every pause between paychecks felt personal, like a reflection of your worth. You held your breath more than you realized. But lately, something has softened. You're not checking as often, not spiraling as deeply, not bracing for impact the way you used to. That's not coincidence. That's you stepping out of survival and into self-trust. You're beginning to see yourself differently now, not as someone waiting for stability to arrive, but as someone who can create it. And that shift changes everything. Because when you stop seeing money as something you must chase or fear losing, it starts responding to you in a new way. More calmly, more consistently, more honestly. This is the moment where effort begins to meet reward. Not overnight miracles, not reckless risk, but steady improvement. The kind where income starts to feel predictable again, where opportunities show up that actually fit your life, where work you poured your energy into months ago suddenly begins to return something tangible. And Libra, you earned this part. You didn't shortcut your way here. You learned discipline through discomfort. You learned discernment through disappointment. You learned patience when you had no other choice. So, when the pressure starts easing, it's not because you got lucky, it's because you grew. You may notice that money feels less emotional now, less tied to fear, less tied to proving yourself. You're not spending to soothe, not withholding out of anxiety. You're making choices that reflect confidence even when things are still unfolding. That's independence. Real independence is not excess, it's steadiness. It's knowing you can handle what comes without losing yourself. And here's something I want you to hear clearly. You are allowed to feel proud of this. You don't need to downplay it. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect. This stage matters because this is where momentum quietly builds. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer stuck in pause mode. You're moving forward in small, intentional ways that compound over time. And as your relationship with money becomes healthier, something else shifts too. Your posture changes, your voice steadies, your energy becomes less apologetic. People respond differently to you now. Opportunities sense that you're ready. Not desperate, not hesitant. Ready. Take a breath here. Let yourself feel the difference. Because this isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about becoming secure in who you are and what you can sustain. And as this sense of autonomy settles in, your life begins to reorganize around it. Your home, your priorities, your vision for the future. In just a moment, we're going to move into something even more intimate. The way this shift touches your sense of belonging, your family energy, the feeling of being held by life itself. And when that arrives, you'll understand why this chapter feels not just more abundant, but more peaceful too. Libra, there's a feeling settling into your chest now. Soft, reassuring, almost unfamiliar. It sounds like a quiet thought you didn't force. Everything is going to be okay, not in a dramatic way. Not because every problem has vanished, but because, for the first time in a long while, you feel held by your own life. Your home carries a different energy lately. Even if nothing has changed on the surface, even if the walls are the same, the rooms feel warmer. This is the kind of safety that cannot be bought or rushed. It arrives when you no longer feel like you are doing everything alone. You may notice yourself moving through your space differently, slower, more present, as if your body finally believes it can rest here. For a long time, you worried about what might happen next. You planned for every possible outcome. You tried to protect everyone. You tried to be the stable one, even when you felt uncertain inside. And now, something shifts. The fear loosens its grip. The constant preparation softens. The future does not feel like a threat anymore. There is a sense of provision around you, not excess, not perfection, but enough. Enough warmth, enough support, enough stability to breathe. Your family energy feels calmer now, whether that family is blood, chosen, or built through years of shared experience. There is less tension, less unspoken worry. You no longer feel like everything depends on you holding it together. That is a gift. For some of you, this shows up as thoughts of change, a desire to improve your space, to upgrade, to create an environment that reflects who you are becoming, not who you had to be in survival mode. You might imagine a new place, or simply rearranging the one you are in, letting in more light, making room for comfort. This is not about status, it is about belonging. A home is not just where you live, it is where your nervous system feels safe enough to soften, and that is what you are building now. You are learning that security does not come from control, it comes from trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the timing of your life, trust that you do not have to sacrifice your peace to survive. You may still have responsibilities, still have goals ahead of you, but they no longer feel like burdens pressing on your chest. They feel manageable. They feel shared with life itself. There is something deeply healing about this stage, because when your inner world feels supported, everything else begins to align more naturally. You show up differently, you speak differently, you choose differently, and people can feel it. Take a moment here. Let your breath slow, let your shoulders drop. This sense of being taken care of is not weakness, it is alignment. You have earned this softness by surviving hardness. You have earned this calm by moving through chaos with grace. And as this warmth settles into your foundation, another realization begins to rise. That peace is not the end of the journey, it is the doorway. Because when you feel safe enough to rest, you become open enough to receive. And in that openness, something very quiet but very powerful begins to flow toward you. Libra, this is the moment where something clicks, not in your mind, but in your body. You begin to notice that when you stop pushing, life does not stop with you. It moves. There was a time when you believed peace was a luxury, something you could only afford after everything was handled, after everyone was satisfied, after every loose end was tied. So you kept yourself tense, alert, always available, always adjusting. But lately, you've been choosing something different, You've been choosing to breathe instead of brace. And that choice is quietly changing your entire relationship with money. When you stop forcing yourself to be everything for everyone, your energy shifts. It becomes clearer, more focused, less scattered. Money responds to that. Opportunities respond to that. Support responds to that. Not because you are doing more, but because you are finally aligned. You may have noticed this already. Things feel smoother. Conversations are easier. Decisions take less effort. You are no longer hustling from a place of fear. You are moving from a place of intention, and intention carries weight. For so long, you tried to keep the balance by holding yourself back, by minimizing your needs, by staying quiet to avoid conflict. But peace was never meant to be earned through self-erasure. Real peace comes when you stop betraying yourself. The moment you stopped over-explaining, stopped over-giving, stopped saying yes when your body said no. That was the moment the flow began to return. Because money does not like tension. It does not move easily through guilt or pressure. It moves through clarity, through self-respect, through calm confidence. You are learning that you do not have to suffer to deserve stability. You do not have to sacrifice your well-being to be supported. And this lesson is bigger than money. It is about how the universe responds when you finally stop arguing with your own worth. When you choose peace, you make space. Space for better opportunities. Space for aligned partnerships. Space for income that does not cost you your health or joy. You may still be working hard, but the work feels cleaner now, more honest, more sustainable. You are not leaking energy in every direction anymore. You are focused, and focus attracts flow. This is not about avoiding responsibility. It is about choosing the right responsibilities. You are learning to let go of what is not yours to carry, and in that release, your hands become open. Open to receive help. Open to receive money. Open to receive ease. Pause here for a moment. Feel what it's like to not be tense. This calm you are practicing is not laziness. It is wisdom. It is the understanding that abundance does not come from exhaustion. It comes from alignment. And as you continue honoring your inner peace, something else begins to shift even deeper. Your sense of identity. Your sense of worth. Your sense of belonging in the world. Because when you stop chasing balance and start embodying it, life rearranges itself around you, and soon, you'll notice that this flow is not just about money anymore. It becomes about who you are allowed to be when you no longer live in survival, and that realization opens the final door of this journey. Libra. This is where everything softens into place, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you stop fighting who you are meant to be. You are not stepping into a fantasy. You are stepping into a chapter that fits you. A chapter where abundance feels calm, where success does not demand your exhaustion, where peace is not something you postpone. For a long time, you believed you had to choose, either stability or freedom, either money or rest, either success or yourself. That belief shaped entire seasons of your life. It made you compromise quietly, carry more than your share, smile through pressure so no one else would feel uncomfortable. But that chapter has closed. What is opening now is different. You can feel it in the way your body responds to the future. There is less tension in your chest, less urgency in your thoughts, less need to prove anything. This is what alignment feels like. You are allowed to receive without apology, to enjoy what you have built, to want more without guilt. You do not have to struggle to be worthy anymore. You do not have to suffer to be supported. This new chapter honors both sides of you, the one who dreams, and the one who needs rest, the one who works hard, and the one who values beauty, balance, and quiet joy. You are realizing that abundance is not loud. It does not rush you. It does not demand you abandon yourself. It arrives gently, steadily, in ways that last. You may notice that your desires have changed. You are no longer chasing intensity. You are choosing sustainability. You want a life that feels good to wake up to. A life where money supports your peace instead of threatening it. A life where success feels like expansion, not pressure. And that desire is not weakness. It is wisdom earned through experience. This chapter does not require you to perform. It asks you to be present, to trust what you have learned, to trust the timing that brought you here, to trust that you do not need to repeat old patterns to survive. You are no longer in the phase of proving yourself to the world. You are in the phase of building a life that respects you. Let that land. You are allowed to enjoy this, to feel proud, to slow down without fear that everything will disappear. Nothing is being taken from you now. Things are being added, carefully, intentionally. And as you move forward, you may notice something subtle but powerful. Your energy invites the right people, the right opportunities, the right forms of support. Not because you are chasing them, but because you are finally standing in your truth. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a more honest one where you receive what matches you, one where you are no longer carrying what never belonged to you, one where balance is not something you manage, it is something you live. Take a breath here. If this resonated, let yourself acknowledge it. You do not need to announce it, just feel it. And if you are ready to continue this journey with intention and trust, stay close. There is more clarity ahead. For now, remember this. You are not late, you are not behind. You are exactly where a lighter, fuller life begins. Libra. Before you go, I want you to sit with this feeling for just a moment. Not the excitement, not the relief, but the quiet knowing that something real has shifted inside you. Because this message did not find you by accident. And you didn't listen this far just to hear nice words. You listened because somewhere in your heart, you recognized yourself. You recognized the strength it took to get here, the balance you fought to protect, the version of you that refused to give up, even when things felt heavy and unfair. And now, you are standing at the edge of a new chapter, one that does not ask you to sacrifice your peace in exchange for success. That matters. If this spoke to you, if even one sentence felt like it landed exactly where it needed to, leave a Libra sign or a simple "I trust myself" in the comments. Not for me, for you, to anchor this moment. And if you haven't yet, take a second to like this video. It helps this message reach another Libra who may still feel alone in their struggle. Someone who needs to hear that balance can return. Subscribe if you want to continue this journey together, because this is not a one-time message. This is a conversation, a slow unfolding, a reminder that you are not walking this path alone. More clarity is coming, more guidance, more moments where things begin to make sense in ways they never did before. So, trust yourself. Trust what you felt while listening. Trust that the life you are building now is lighter, steadier, and far more aligned than you realize. The journey does not end here. This was just the doorway. And the next message will meet you exactly when you're ready. Until then, stay gentle with yourself, stay open, and remember, balance is no longer something you chase. It is something you live.